There we go.
Recording in progress. Thank you, Mr. Biggs.
Thank you, Zach.
All right. Now, your club, PHRC, Potterhead Running Club, formerly known as the Hogwarts Running Club, correct?
Yeah, well, it is one of the Fanthropy running clubs. So the full umbrella is the Fanthropy running clubs. Fanthropy being a word of my own design, meaning fandom philanthropy. And so we had been operating the PHRC, previously HRC, since 2014.
And how did your community grow?
So we started out, it was just kind of me on my couch with a Facebook page. The very first event we launched in March of 2014 had 32 participants, which I thought was pretty good for a first effort. And the second event had 33 participants, so that's 5% growth. You know, that's pretty good. And over the course of that first year, we managed to generate we had about 990 registrations and raised about $10,000, a little over $10,000 for pediatric cancer research through that process. In 2015, the club started getting more attention via our Facebook page. And then in July of 2015, we got some really good press on a website called MuggleNet, which is a site for Harry Potter fans. And we experienced exponential growth. We went from 4,200 likes on Facebook in July to over 25,000 by the end of the year. So significant growth. And that growth continued all the way through 2018, up into 2018. And then we started seeing plateauing at that point. But it was very exciting back in 2015, 2016 with some massive organic growth of our participation. And we were doing 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people per event. And actually
impressive.
we are actually, in terms of registrations, we believe that we are the largest virtual running organization in the world with over 300,000 individual registrations over the last 8 years.
That's very commendable.
And we've done a lot of good with it. We've motivated our communities of geeks to log over 23 million miles for their own physical fitness, while raising $2.6 million for other deserving charities, for our various charity partners for the various events.
Well, if you have time, why don't you list off a few of the causes you've donated to?
Absolutely. We have had over 75 charity partners. And while, trying to say which one's your favorite, it's like trying to say, pick your favorite kid. And we all know that you can pick your favorite kid. You can't. But some of them, one, to write Love on Her Arms helps people in crisis and prevent suicide. Oceans Initiative is one that I really like. They do ocean mammal research, whales, dolphins, things like that. Limbs for Life is one of my personal favorites. They provide free legs to amputees, free prosthetic legs to amputees to give them the freedom of movement and walking around. Toucan Rescue Ranch, we supported Toucan Rescue Ranch in building a first of its kind sloth rescue facility in northern Costa Rica, which actually has, thanks to Potterhead Running Club, painted on a mural on the side of the building. So if you go to Costa Rica, you can actually see this building that Potterhead Running Club fully funded and equipped with emergency equipment for sloths. In that part of the country, they can't tell the difference between a vine, a branch, and a power line. And so they're going from branch to vine to power line. They get electrocuted, they drop, and then people were having to drive them an hour and a half down to Toucan Rescue Ranch. So they built a facility an hour and a half north where the sloths actually were. And so that facility has saved many, many lives already since it's been founded. Lots of different charities helping to improve the environment, supporting veterans, helping people fighting terrible diseases. We have supported groundbreaking pancreatic cancer research, and we supported the Sabin Vaccine Institute in wiping out a disease in French Guiana. We wiped out elephantitis in the entire country of French Guiana back in 2017.
I never heard about that, but the good you did's probably why.
It has been a lot of good over the last 8 years.
So, can you tell me what's your history with running? How did you get started making this into a running club?
So in 2013, my wife informed me that she was going to do her first half marathon. She was going to walk a half marathon with her cousins and her aunt down in St. Petersburg, Florida. They were going to do it the weekend prior to Thanksgiving. And so and then one husband said he was going to go, and then another husband said he was going to go. Next thing you know, it's cousins and nieces and nephews, and it's a family reunion happening down in Florida. So, all right, I told my wife, you have fun with your half marathon. I am still in the Air Force. I'm an Air Force reservist on active duty orders, but at the time I was active duty, and I did my 1.5 mile run every 6 months, and that's all the running I did, period. I didn't want to do any more. And so I told her, you have fun with that. We'll be there to cheer you on. Well, I was there at the finish line on that day in November of 2013, and my wife crossed, and it was the finish line was electric. It was exciting. And I saw her cross, and I saw her get this big gaudy medal. And I was like, I want one of those. That's cool. I want one. And so one of her cousins said, well, hey, we're doing a turkey trot on Thursday. It's a 10K. You want to do that? I'm like, is there a medal? I'm like, no, there's no medal, but there's a shirt. I'm like, all right, a shirt's good for now, but let's do it. I did that first 10K. It was the first 10K I ever did in my life. I did it in blue jeans. I did it in blue jeans and a hoodie because it was the coldest day in Florida history. It was like 35 degrees out there in Florida. It was really, really cold. And I really didn't have the clothing for that kind of cold weather, but I'm out there in blue jeans and a t-shirt and just my standard cross trainer tennis shoes. And my wife still won't forgive me that I did my first 10K in under an hour with absolutely no training at all. She's very bitter about that. And that's when I caught the running bug. And so I signed up for my first half marathon for January of 14. I got into a training program. I spent the next 8 weeks getting ready for that race. Went back to St. Pete's, actually, to a half marathon down there. And I did the St. Pete's half marathon in January of 2014, and actually had one of my best times ever, a little under 2 hours. And I'd really caught the running bug. I started signing up for a bunch of half marathons. It was about the time that I did my second or third one that I noticed all these people who were raising money for charity doing their half marathons. And I was like, I should do that too. So I decided I wanted to raise money for the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in Boston. I had worked with Dana-Farber. They call their fundraising arm is called the Jimmy Fund. And if you're a Red Sox fan or have ever been to a Red Sox game, you are well aware of the Jimmy Fund. It is regularly promoted at all Red Sox home games. And I had worked for the Red Sox in college, so I loved the Jimmy Fund. And I started doing fundraising, the normal peer-to-peer fundraising, asking your friends and family to sponsor you because I had these races coming up. And I quickly realized that all of my friends and family were cheap, and because they stopped returning my phone calls and my emails. And I didn't do very good at fundraising with the peer-to-peer fundraising. So I reached out. I was talking to a friend of mine from college, and she told me about this new thing she had done, a virtual run. And that one was actually Star Wars themed. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Well, someone's doing Star Wars. What am I into? Well, you know what? I'm into Harry Potter. I'm really into Harry Potter. And I had the thought, Hogwarts as a school, was a pretty good school, but it was missing certain things that normal schools have, like math classes. There was no math classes at Hogwarts. But also they didn't have a running club, but they did a lot of running for their lives. And it might have benefited them if they had a long distance endurance program. More of them might have survived. But So I named it Hogwarts Running Club and launched it in March of 2014 without any real fanfare or hope of success. My goal was to raise $500 for cancer research. $2.6 million and 23 million miles later, here we are.
Well, I've got to say, that's quite a story. And it's one I could enjoy reading about myself. I have to ask, a Harry Potter related question. Which house do you say you identify with the most?
I am a Slytherin.
Well, that doesn't make us enemies. I'm a Gryffindor.
Well, fair enough, fair enough. Well, so I am actually a hybrid. I am a Slitherpuff. I am 50.0001% Slytherin, 49.999% Hufflepuff.
Well,
I put it this way. I want the greatest nonprofit in the world.
Well, it's an interesting thing there. I mean, when I do the Pottermore tests or Harry Potter things, I generally get sorted randomly into Gryffindor or Hufflepuff myself.
Yeah, I get sorted into both Slytherin and a Hufflepuff. I call it ambition for good. I have long been an ambitious individual, but never allowed myself to be a jerk about it, for lack of a better term. And so, yeah, ambition for good is how I kind of categorize being a Slitherpuff.
Well, that's a great way to look at it. I look at the whole thing of being Gryffindor or Griffinpuff or Puffledore maybe as being somebody who wants to always push through, but always stay true to his own values.
Very good.
Well, I guess I have just another question or two, if you have time.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of them being, I'm aware of the current climate that you've faced with, well, it's been over social media. And
Yes.
I wondered, what are your plans for after everything's settled?
Well, so Random Tuesday and Fanthropy, the Fanthropy mission, will continue beyond 2022 and into 2023 at least. And we will continue at least one of our online communities, the FRC fan domain, will continue on Facebook to continue to offer our community a place where anyone, regardless of who they are or where they come from, a safe, welcoming space on the internet where they can receive motivation and inspiration to be more physically active. Our communities have been the most magical part of who we are and what we do. And our mission is to motivate these communities to be more physically active. That is the mission of our nonprofit. And so we are going to continue that community in the fan domain on Facebook for the foreseeable future. What kind of programming we will do, I don't know. But I can tell you that the nonprofit Random Tuesday and its Fanthropy mission will continue into the future. We just won't be able to have a staff. And so that, having a paid staff is what you need in order to have robust programming that we've had for the last several years in our community. And so it's going to be myself and in a dedicated team of volunteers who will be able to keep that community going for at least the foreseeable future. And what the programming looks like, we don't know. For me personally, I keep on trucking, keep on doing races, and hopefully motivating other people to get out there and get some miles themselves.
Well, that is definitely the answer I hope many people were hoping to hear. I know it's one I was hoping to hear because I was a member of the Hogwarts Running Club. I started in 2016. I attained the rank of perfect prefect that year.
Yay.
And well, honestly, I could not picture anything much more creative than what you've done.
Thank you.
And my final question before I go for a run, as it's Global Running Day, perfect day for a run. would you ever consider coming to Niagara Falls for the marathon, half marathon, or the various events we do here?
I would love to. Is that the one where half of it's run in the US, half of it's run in Canada?
Well, it's all going to be run in Canada this year, the pandemic, but honestly, we are hoping to attract a great crowd with the return to live racing. My job is to help promote the race, and honestly, you have the attitude that says, let's do this.
When is the race?
In October.
October what?
23rd.
Hold on. You have to hold for a minute. I have to look at my calendar.
No trouble at all.
Because of course I have a race calendar. Of course I do. We all do. Because if I don't keep my races organized on a spreadsheet, I will not know when they are.
I understand.
All right. Interestingly possible. I have the Baltimore half marathon the weekend prior to that, the 15th of October. So it's the 23rd.
Yes.
That would, because I have not done a race in Canada yet.
Well, you'd be most welcome.
Let me talk to the boss, otherwise known as my wife. I know your boss's name is Helene.
Yes.
As I can see your the name for your Zoom. So you have a boss as well.
Well, actually, it's my mother. My computer's on the fritz, so she lets me use hers.
All right. Well, you still have a boss, your mom.
Yes.
So let me look at my calendar and I'll be in touch.
Thank you, Mr. Biggs, and we hope to see you here. And thank you once more, and good luck for the future.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, Zach.
You as well, sir. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.